Hello everyone, I'm Glenn Dreyfus. On the second day of development camp at Kraken Community Iceplex, oh boy, were there developments. The Kraken named 2 assistants for new head coach Dan Bylsma. One is Bob Woods, previously an assistant with Bylsma in Buffalo. More on him in a moment. The other is Jessica Campbell, for the last 2 years and with great success on Bylsma's staff at Coachella Valley, the Kraken AHL farm team. I welcome the day, and I'm sure she does too, when we can speak only about her considerable qualifications. But since Campbell is the first woman to coach behind an NHL bench, and the NHL has been around, checks watch, 106 years and 6 months, that makes this a historic occasion.
I'm humbled, obviously, to be in this position, and you speak to the word first, to be the first, but that's never really where my focus is. It's always on the work, it's on the impact, it's on the job, and you know, there's a lot to this game and to this job, and so I'm never taking for granted, but I think the biggest thing is that I'm reminded often, and it just puts a lot of meaning into the work. And I know that if the team has success and that my impact is a good one, then it could potentially open up doors for others and open eyes for others to maybe think differently. But I guess I try to really just keep my eyes fixed on what matters every day, to be in the now, to be in the moment, to stay in the trenches with the players. And though I am honored to be the first, I don't want to be the only, and I honestly don't feel like I'm the only in this organization, and that's also a very special feeling, to be part of the Seattle Kraken organization and this staff, and also to stand by all the other remarkable women in this league that are maybe not behind the benches, but there's a long list of incredible women that are doing phenomenal jobs here in management, scouting, player development, and so I'm just excited to do my part now behind the bench.
Now on to her qualifications. Played college hockey at Cornell, was a pro women's player, won gold twice and silver 3 times in international competition for Team Canada, and first dreamed her journey could take her to the NHL when pros began attending her power skating school.
You know, I think it was actually my time rehabbing Brent Seabrook's skating, and that I realized this is what I want to do. These guys are showing up for my skates in numbers, and maybe I want to pursue this goal in a different light, get behind the bench, and I felt like what I was teaching and what I was working with them on was translating, and it was hitting in a different way, and it definitely inspired me to think about the potential that, though I was never fixed on when and how, it's just this could be a potential goal of mine, and I'm going to chase it regardless of what that could look like.
Jessica, you mentioned Brent Seabrook, and I want to read to you what he said about you. Everything she was asking us to do, she could do everything. She did it, and she did it really well. But he also said, I really hated her, to be honest. I hated watching her skate. So are you looking forward to the Kraken players hating you too?
I hope they love me more than they hate me, but if they hate me for the same reasons that Brent did. You know, I'm a big believer, and Dan alluded to this, and Bob and our whole staff has already spoken to pushing players, even at this level, to unlock potential that maybe they haven't yet. And I think that's what I'm most excited about, is getting here, and whether it's a veteran player, you know, like a Brent Seabrook who's won, and I respect Brent, and I respect his mindset, even at an older age, to put in the work and to focus on fundamentals of his game, like skating. Those take special players and people, and I think we have those here. I think we have the veteran group, and I know we have the younger group that are hungry and eager to achieve something and build something within this culture. That's what it's all about. So I hope they hate me, but also love me.
Meanwhile, Bob Wood's hockey resume might extend all the way into our next video. In addition to partnering with Bilesma in Buffalo, Woods has previously been an assistant in Washington, in Anaheim, and most recently for several years in Minnesota. That followed a 741-game minor league career with 9 teams in 3 pro minor leagues. You'll recall that in both of his AHL seasons with the Firebirds, Bilesma led Coachella Valley to the championship round, only to be beaten each time by the Hershey Bears. And speaking of the Bears, Woods won 3 rings there. In 1997 as a defenseman, in 2006 as an assistant coach, and in 2009 as head coach of the Bears. Woods and Bilesma butted coaching heads at both the AHL and NHL levels.
Over the course of maybe 5 years there, we butted heads quite a bit, and I didn't like the way his teams played. Or at least it was a challenging to play against staffs that Bob was a part of, and so that kind of really why I wanted a chance to work with him in Buffalo, to bring him there, because it was always a challenge to coach against a Bob Woods team, and so you kind of want that on your side.
Well, trust me, it was mutual feelings. Had them in Hershey, Wilkes-Barre. We had Pittsburgh, Washington. Like, they were good battles. You got excited when those matchups came up, and again, he's had success. He's got something I don't have. I might have the other one, but he's got the championship that I would love to get to. And again, that's what I love here, talking to people. That's what people are looking for, and you've seen what's gone on in this league and the teams that haven't won and they're starting to win. Like, that's exciting. Anybody has a chance, and looking at our group here, so do we.
Dan, how important is it for a head coach to have assistant coaches who he's already familiar with, has worked with, and can trust?
It's super important for me. I think Jess is gonna probably have to answer this question, but I think it's super important that they know me and know what my expectations are and know what I'm asking of the team and believe in it. And so Bob and Jess are both that. They kind of know how I'm going to be, and I think they believe in it. And because they're instrumental in giving the same message to the team. It's not just me, it's all these guys that are going to be doing that. And so I hope Woody knows what's coming, and I think he believes in it, and I think he's going to be integral in helping me be able to deliver that message.
The mood these days around the Kraken offices can best be summed up in one word: lighthearted. GM Ron Francis doled out free agent contracts Monday worth in excess of $98 million. And before exiting stage left on that day, announced to the press corps, "I'm out of money. I'm taking up a collection." Wednesday, I followed up with the GM.
Have you found any more money since Monday?
I had an offer from one of you for $8. That's all I got. So don't be afraid.
Kraken CEO and part owner Todd Lywicki got into the fun too, popping into the press conference to joke, "I've been traded. I've been traded." Presumably for a CEO to be named later, but not really. With the NHL draft, free agency, historic coaching announcements, and the first 2 days of development camp, suddenly the dark days of the 2023-24 Kraken season seem very far in the rear view. I'm Glenn Dreyfus for Davy Jones Locker Room.